Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, in the previous lecture, we did discuss about the pronoun change and the tense changes for changing the narration. Now, today, but there are a few exceptions that we didn't discuss, and we are going to discuss them now in this lecture. So there are different kinds of sentences. Probably you are well aware about these kinds of sentences, impression-wise. So one kind is called assertive, another one is called interrogative, exclamatory, and imperative. Now when we have these kind of tenses, these kind of sentences, to change the narration, there is a little bit change in these kinds of sentences when we need to transfer them into the direct narration or indirect narration. So now we are going to learn that one. For that purpose, first, we should understand the assertive sentence. Assertive sentence is a kind of sentence which provides information. Any kind of information, or it is a kind of statement which gives any information. It is a statement. So it may be negative or positive, whatsoever it is. Mean you are a student and you are not a student. So one is telling positive, one is telling negative, but both are assertive sentences. In few books they are considered as affirmative or declarative. So if we move to the previous lectures, what we have learned, basically this is a basic kind of sentence structure in the kinds of sentences. So what rules we have learned so far, that were according to the assertive sentences. Here you can see they came is an information, so accordingly we have changed it. So we have learned all the rules for assertive sentences already in the previous lectures, and then now we are moving ahead to the other kinds of sentences and what changes we have in these kind of sentences while we are changing the narration we are going to study. So first we would like to discuss the changes of interrogative. So first change is, if you remember, when we are removing the commas and inverted commas, we were putting that in the place of commas and inverted commas in the assertive sentences. But in interrogative sentences, this is somehow different. We need not to use that in the place of commas and inverted commas. First, we need to learn structurally there are two kinds of interrogative sentences. One kind of interrogative sentences, they usually start with the auxiliary or helping verbs like are you going, do you like mangoes, are you happy, have you read the book. All these kind of structurally made interrogative sentences are basically for confirmation, and their answer may be yes or no. So this is one kind of structure of interrogative sentences. When we have such an interrogative sentence in speech 2 here, how we need to change it, what replace we are going to make, we replace these commas and inverted commas with the word if or whether. It's our own choice. Like we have changed this sentence, he said are you going. Now definitely in speech 1 we have changed it into asked or inquired. We can change ask the question when we are having the question or interrogative sentence. Then in the speech 1 it's better to use ask or inquire. So he asked if. Now these commas and inverted commas have been replaced with the word if. So if, and then we will follow the assertive style and assertive structure as well. You know the structure of assertive is the subject comes first. Now you will be turned into I, and then it will turn into the past continuous tense if I was going. So it will be converted in this way. Fine. Now moving ahead towards the other structure of interrogative sentence. These here we use interrogative words like where, what, when, how. So here we are asking about the main content. We don't know about the main content. So when we have this kind of question, that where are you going, what are you doing, how are you, the main context is being asked. Then the words like where, how, when, they will replace the commas and inverted commas. We need not to mention here if or whether instead of commas or inverted commas, but these commas or inverted commas will be replaced with where, why, when, whatsoever is the first interrogative word is used in speech 2. So just have a look at this one. Here he said, where are you going? So he asked where. Now comma inverted commas are replaced with where, and then again this is assertive sequence. So you has been changed according to the first person, the rule we have studied in the previous lecture. Here we have no object, so where, and then in the past tense where I was going. So uh, while we are changing the interrogative sentences, we need not to remove the commas and inverted commas and replace them with that. But in one case we can replace these commas and inverted commas with the extra word we are adding with if and whether. And in the other case where we have interrogative word in speech 2, so these commas and inverted commas will be replaced with that interrogative word. We need not to add any kind of extra word in this kind of sentence. So this is about interrogative sentence, and this is how it is different from the assertive sentence to transfer from direct to indirect. Now the second one is exclamatory. Exclamatory is a kind of sentence which shows the sudden feeling, wish or praise sometime as well. So again the sudden feelings may be expressed in different ways, so accordingly this will be changed. Sometime for the sudden feelings we are using like this kind of sentence, what a beautiful dress you have. So now here we have that kind of interrogative word in the beginning. When we have this kind of intro, now even in this sentence, to remove the commas and inverted commas we would use that, like assertive sentence. So he then in the speech one we will use exclaimed with wonder, exclaimed with joy, exclaimed with happiness. So whatever impression we are getting from this speech too, if this impression is the impression or sudden feeling of appreciation, whether this is the impression of joy, this is impression of happiness, this is impression of sorrow, so that impression will be determined by this speech too, and we will add that uh, impression that we are getting with exclamation here in speech 1. So whether he exclaimed with wonder, he exclaimed with joy, how did he exclaim, so you can mention here he exclaimed with wonder, that. Now again the assertive sequence, you will be converted into I, and the tense have will be changed into had. I had. Now what a beautiful dress. This it tells about the intensity of beauty. So actually he is trying to say that you have a very beautiful dress. So that's why we have turned it into I had a very beautiful dress. So it will be changed like this one. And um, we can add very to replace this word when this is in a positive sense. Okay, then the other kind of, there we have direct exclamation like this one. He said, hurrah, we have won the match. So now in this one he exclaimed. Now hurrah, this expression is showing the happiness. He exclaimed with the joy that. Now we, according to the third person, they had won the match. Now here this is pronoun change, and here this is tense change. So he exclaimed with joy that they had won the match. Now in this exclamatory sentence, like assertive, we use that in the place of comma and inverted commas, but here in the speech 1 we use the expression that we are getting from speech 2, mean what kind of exclamation we are having, and then accordingly we change the speech 1 in the same tense and we'll use exclaimed with wonder, exclaimed with joy, exclaimed with happiness, and then turn the speech to remaining speech while using the same kind of pronoun changes and tense changes that we have studied for assertive sentence. Mostly we are using the same tense change and pronoun change pattern that we are using in assertive sentence. Overall, we are just changing the comma and inverted commas, and somehow in interrogative sentences we are changing it with if or whether, and here we are similarly using that. So I have told you specifically what you need to do. Now, another kind of sentence that is remaining, and that is imperative kind of sentence, that is like command, request, whatsoever it is. It may be a command, a request, an advice. So how to change this one? Now this kind of sentence, the commas and inverted commas will be replaced with the word to, and when we are using the word to, it will make an infinitive, and you need not to change the tense then later. So here we have a sentence. He said to him, please wait here till I return. So now this please indicates that he is requesting. So that's why in speech 1 we have changed said into requested. He requested to him. Now this please, basically this word requested has taken the please in itself. So we need not to use please anymore. We have to go for the expression. So we have replaced this please with this requested. So he requested him. Now these commas and inverted commas are converted into this word to. He requested him to then wait there till he returned. So here will be changed into there, as I have discussed in the previous lecture that there are few words that they must be changed. In the other words there is no specific rule, but they will be changed, like this in those, this in that, these in those, here in there. And then this first person, is changed according to the subject, he, and then definitely it was past, so till he returned, this is changed into till he returned. So this has now two parts. Please wait here till he returned. So he requested him. Now inverted commas and commas are changed to. Please has gone here. Please wait. He requested him to wait there till he returned. Fine. Now let's have a look at another example that is like command. Call the first witness, said the judge. Now I have changed the sequence a bit here. So we do remember whatsoever is outside the inverted commas, that is speech 1, and whatsoever is in the inverted commas, that is speech 2. So the judge commanded. What call the witness mean? Here he is ordering, he is commanding. So here we can say the judge commanded them, or if you are adding not them, there is no issue. The judge commanded, then commas and inverted commas will be replaced with the word to call the first witness. So it's quite simple. So this is how we can change the narration of different kinds of sentences. So in exclamatory sentences we use that in the place of commas and inverted commas, just like assertive sentence. But interrogative sentences and imperative sentences would take the different words to replace the inverted commas. Like interrogative will take the word if or whether, or any interrogative word, and the imperative sentence will take the word to replace the commas and inverted commas. So this is all about the narration, but here we have left one topic, and that is about the universal truths. So if we have a universal truth, the teacher, for example, here we can, it will remain unchanged, like the teacher said, now comma, inverted commas, the earth revolves around the sun. Now, this is a kind of universal truth. First, we need to learn what is the universal truth. In two dimension, need to look for the universal truths. One in the dimension of time and one in the dimension of place. So, if any information, any statement is true over the period of times and will be true in the future as well. So, in the past that was true, in the present that is true, and in the future that will be true as well. This is in the dimension of time. And if an information is true, whether it is spoken in England, in America, in Africa, in Pakistan, in India, in Bangladesh, so wherever, whichever the area of the world is, the statement is still relevant and true, then that will be called universal truth. So we can't change the universal truth. That's why we can say the teacher said, although the teacher said is in the past tense, that the earth revolves around the sun. So this is the right indirect narration of the universal truth. So wherever you have the universal truths, you need not to change them tense wise, because if we in a realistic sense, if we try to understand, the teacher said, even in the past, if the teacher said, can we say the earth is not revolving now around the sun? Earth is still revolving around the sun. So that's why this will remain same, this will remain in present. So if we are linking such information which is universal truth, but that was narrated by someone in the past, even then the past portion will be in the past and the universal truth will remain in the same tense as it is, like in the present indefinite tense. So this is how you can change the narration. And now we are going to discuss few activities. You need to practice it, and if you have any query you can ask me.